Now let us see how this is expressed in terms of accounting. We will begin with the Continental Accounting system. I will explain a slight difference in detail between that and the Anglo-Saxon accounting system. The moment a person decides to deposit €1,000,000 in Bank A makes the following entry. In cash, and therefore in assets, it records €1,000,000 on the debit side. And the balancing entry, because in double entry accounting, and this is why it is called double entry, both sides must always add up to the same amount. The balancing entry reflects the demand deposit, which the bank includes in liabilities, because it acknowledges it as available to Mr. X, the depositor. So far, so good. The problem arises when bankers at Bank A say, well, this money is sitting here idle. It is not serving any function. Why not devote it to our own business dealings? Why not lend it, for example, to Company Z? So they take, let us say, 90%, 900,000 monetary units from their vault, and they lend the money to Company Z. On the right side, you read cash, 900,000. As we said, on the credit side, we record income as well as increases in liabilities or decreases in assets. That is the case. Cash decreases by 900,000 monetary units, which is why the entry appears on the right side. The balancing entry on the left side is where the bank reflects, concerning its assets, that Company Z owes it 900,000 monetary units. Therefore, the second line of entries reads 900,000 loan to Z, cash 900,000. The moment the bankers appropriate the money and lend it to Z, an economic event of vital importance occurs. At that moment, 900,000 monetary units are created ex nihilo, or out of nothing. Remember that Mr. X's essential motive for originally making the demand deposit of 1,000,000 monetary units was custody and safekeeping. In other words, he made a true demand deposit, the cause of which is custody and safekeeping. Therefore, Mr. X subjectively, and with good reason, believes he has 1,000,000 monetary units in his cash balances. He does not have the money in his pocket, he has it in the bank, and it is immediately available to him. He can go to the bank today at any time and withdraw his money. Thus, I repeat, Mr. X still has the same balance of 1,000,000 monetary units of liquid assets, or money, that he had before. It is as if the money were physically in his possession, since, according to his contract, a demand deposit, he enjoys the full availability of those monetary units. Hence, there is no doubt that from an economic standpoint, the 1,000,000 monetary units Mr. X deposited in the bank form part of his cash balances and the money supply. Now, take note. When the bank appropriates 90%, 900,000 monetary units, which it had in its vault at the disposal of Mr. X, and it lends the money to a third party, to Company Z, Z simultaneously receives 900,000 monetary units, and Z has in its cash balances 900,000 monetary units, which it receives as a loan. So, the bank generates new purchasing power from nothing and transfers it to Company Z, which obtains the loan and receives those 900,000 monetary units. So, in the market, as a result of the bank's appropriation of a portion of demand deposits in order to make loans to third parties, the quantity of money in circulation increases. That is, an inflationary effect emerges, because two different economic agents simultaneously consider, and with good reason, that they possess the same money Mr. X believes he has. And in fact he does have. 1,000,000 euros in his cash balances in the form of a deposit, and the directors of Company Z, the other economic agent, believe 90% of that money is in their physical possession, because it has been handed over to them as a loan. Notice how the phenomenon of dual availability and an increase in the money supply occurs. Once the bank has completed this operation, it retains in its vault only 100,000 monetary units. This is referred to as the reserve ratio. In this case, we have supposed it to be 10%. The bankers say, with 10% of the money deposited with us, we believe we have enough to handle ordinary withdrawals, those made under normal circumstances. Well, the portion of deposits that are not backed by cash reserves in the bank are called fiduciary media. Notice that the bank has as a deposit 1 million monetary units, and yet its vaults contain only 100,000. This means it has created from nothing 900,000 units of fiduciary media. There is another interesting terminology, that of primary deposits and secondary deposits. The portion of deposits which are backed by cash reserves, cash in the bank, are called primary deposits, and the portion of deposits which are not backed by cash reserves, what we just called fiduciary media, are also called secondary deposits, or derivative deposits. Now, notice, initially when 1 million is deposited and the vault contains 1 million, there are no fiduciary media. The entire deposit is backed by cash. There is no problem. When the bank lends 900,000, then the bank's cash reserves drop to 10%. The bank still has 1 million in deposits, and of the 1 million originally deposited, 100,000 are primary deposits backed by cash in the bank, and 900,000 are secondary deposits, or fiduciary media. And after this whole operation, 1 million monetary units in society have become 1,900,000. 1 million are in the form of real money. And where is it? 100,000 units are in the bank's vault, and 900,000 are in the possession of Company Z, the borrower, which has received the loan. And where are the other 900,000? They are fiduciary media created by the bank. That is, the portion of deposits without backing in the bank's vault. To put it another way, if we considered just this operation, we would say society's money supply consists of 1,900,000 monetary units, and it takes the form of 1 million in cash, of which 100,000 are in the bank's vault and 900,000 are in the possession of the borrower, and another 900,000, which are a mere accounting entry on the bank's books. Since the bank has kept only 100,000, yet it acknowledges 1 million in deposits, it has created 900,000 additional monetary units, which are fiduciary media, a mere accounting entry. We have supposed that because the bank maintains a reserve ratio of 10%, it has created 900,000 units of perfect money substitutes. A money substitute is not actual money, but a fiduciary medium that functions as if it were money. Well, in practice, in modern Western economies, in Europe and in the United States, only around 10% of the entire money supply is in the form of banknotes and coins. So, if we add up the entire money supply of all the countries in the European Union, what does the entire money supply consist of? Well, the combined sum of your cash balances, and yours, and mine, and those of all the companies. Only around 10% is in the form of bank bills and coins. For instance, euro coins, euro cent coins, etc. You might ask, and where is the other 9/10 of the money supply? I have given the answer today. The other 9/10 consist of a sort of virtual money. It exists only in banks' accounting entries. Take note of the example I have offered. We have gone from 1 million units of real money to 1,900,000 units. Only 900,000 have been created. Now, looking to the end result, I am saying that in Europe and in the United States, and in general in Western economies, and in Japan as well, with minor variations, only around 10% of the money supply is in the form of cash, and the rest consists of accounting entries. In other words, the expansion of fiduciary media is much greater than what we have just reflected in these entries. Well, to explain how society arrives at this expansion that is much greater than what we have just reflected in these entries, I will refer to what is known as the bank multiplier.